Yo, so I've got like 21 shows at the Edinburgh Fringe, and I've only done 5 minutes of comedy in the last 3 months. So, um, yeah, so I'm just gonna go for it. So there's all the background music that you've heard, and then this one, oh that one, this one. Warrior in the garden, mud on my knees, dirt on my hands, dreaming up 1,000 schemes. Old steel rusted, still sharp in the sun, past his cobwebs, future loading like a gun. Ask Robin Willie what the show is. You would, but he's dead. That's the whole joke now. Crowd waits, lights fade. Punchline is 89% landing. The other 11 is a crescendo. Crowd commanding. Pow! Silence as the act takes place. History now. What is the sword if not the crowd? Talking vox populi, shouting while the dead keep walking past, present, future in a cracked old mirror. Tragedy, comedy, pull the mask nearer. I don't know how to make it any clearer. Stage lights flicker, little brick in my knickers, vaudeville of all your ghosts juggling every flavour of pain, juggalo brain, axes and crocheting the wool of a llama. I'm a silly goosey llama, I'm not trying to harm you, I'm trying to see harm your mama. I slip on a banana peel of my own doubt, no smile crack, laugh track, blackout. Got Cunt the Con with Welsh King Arthur, Descartes in the bar with a giant peach, and Young in the balcony saying this is very niche. A past says remember, future says prepare, present says fuck you, fingers in the air, sword in the stone, handle in your palm, world on fire but the garden hum come. A tiny private circus, and every seat is you. What is a sword if not the crowd, talking vox populi, shouting while the dead keep walking past, present, future in a cracked old mirror. Tragedy, comedy, pull the mask nearer. Do you get it yet? C'est la vie. So, as some of you may have noticed, there is one empty seat in this establishment tonight, and that is, it's based on an old Japanese custom. So there's an empty seat, an empty table, an empty plate, and an empty glass. So if you want to summon any dead people who you think would enjoy the comedy tonight, just take a minute. Empty chairs in the room tonight. Ghost of laughter in the fading light. We poured a drink, but you ain't there. Your voice still echoes loud and clear. Leave a space at the table for the ones who ain't able. Ooh, I'm spicy. Get in the fucking Hoover! And that's going to power my house for a year. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you want your ghost back at the end of the show, that'll be $50, can. So, hi, my name's Jack. That's a lie. I'm a fraud and a charlatan. A figment of my own imagination and a grandiose narcissist projecting adequacy in the vain hopes that you will like me. Please? And it's not that I need you to like my music. I need one person to like my music enough to want to play it on the guitar. So yes, I'm a comedian. I give the vox populi, the vaudeville, and to do so, viscous and vulgar verbiage is often vital. If you don't understand what I just said, I can about it a boot folk, and I jig about it as I can, and I kind of have to come to come a bit, you can. I've been living in Scotland for a while, and I really think Glasgow epitomizes its national flower of the thistle. Like, hey you, see this bumblebee bee? It can land on my head and propagate nature's majestic life cycle, but you try and touch me and I'll shank you, you jobby. A bovine grazes through fields of psychedelic mushrooms, a haiku. I don't know what kind of supervillainy problem they have down in Glasgow, but everyone was looking for a heroine. But like, it's like, I'm not swearing at you. I'm swearing around you. I'm not telling the mechanic to fuck off. I'm not telling my car to fuck off. I'm not telling my money to fuck off necessarily, but go on, fuck off. Go and live with the nice man. It's a call to the universe, really. Fuck off. But anyway, I'll let you in on a little secret. My actual name is Jack. Jack, the stage name, is spelled J-A-C. And Jack, the name, is spelled J-A-C. Okay. And this fella comes up to me one time and he said, "This is a hijack." And I was mightily confused about that, because usually a hijack looks like this. He had a gun. He was wearing a cowboy outfit, but he was only riding a donkey, which I thought was the most peculiar thing about this scenario. But fortunately, I do know kung fu, so I gave that yee-haw, hee-haw, the old hee-yaw, donkey punch. It's better than knowing Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I'd have just been there on the floor like, yeah, you fucking horse, donkey. I've also got an alter ego called Soccer to Meeson. It's less alter ego and more Jungian id, because obviously you can't go around cutting people's heads off with an axe. It's illegal. You get the jail. But as a method of conflict resolution, it is pretty fucking definitive. Yes, Soccer to Meeson, son of to me, to you, son. Rest in peace, Barry Chuckle. Son of to you, wanna build a snowman. And the year is 1066 AD, and Soccer to Meeson has been crowned king of everything. All peoples, plants and fauna become Soccanese. The world capital, Jackistan, becomes a thriving cultural hotbed. Our main exports are T-3000 killdroids to crush the rebel scum. Long live the glory of Jackistan. Poetry and art. And the advent of a new super legume that gives you all of your necessary daily nutrients in just a 200-gram serving. The delicious, the nutritious, the ineffable, the edible Soccanese nuts. Throughout this show there are jokes that are just for me. That is one of them. But how does Jackistan work, I hear you cry? Well, it's very easy. It's segregation. I've taken cold Jackistan, jungle Jackistan, and hot Jackistan and turned them into PvP enabled zones. So if you want to go and kill something, go there and fight nature. We've got the sex, drugs and rock and roll bit, which is over there. That's all great. Really, you can't stop people doing drugs, so just like, make sure people are safe. They're injecting their heroin in a reasonable amount with a bunch of therapists, just like Freud would have wanted. Here's a niche joke for you. God is dead. Well, where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, and then you've got the normal square bit where if you just want to be like generally plain, you go there and be drab. Yes, Jackistan even has a place for pedophiles. The wood chipper. Feet first. That's how you turn a pedophile into a cat. How do you turn a pedophile into a dog? Cover him in petrol and throw on a match. Yeah, I'm still like getting over being vulnerable on stage. So why did that grandiose fucking delusion take place? Well, like, them pishy YouTubers like Mr. Beast with his millions of followers. Like, I wonder what it would take for him to like declare his own nation state, because he's got the money. He could just be like, I've bought 50,000 tanks, guys. I'm going to invade Poland. Whee! But mostly for self-defense. Like, the amount of times, and like, this is why I kind of want to live in America, because the amount of times in my life where I would have just been like, bang, self-defense, and then bang, self-defense, and then if I was on stage, I would be like in a plank position doing some kind of like, I don't want to say breakdancing, but like self-confidently exercising to music, and bang, self-defense. And then my debut song happened and 2 people came up behind me and bang, bang, self-defense. And then 4 people are chasing me and then bang, 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 self-defense. And then the worst part of it all, I'd get the bastard. I'm my own biggest risk, motherfucker. But then, bang, self-defense. Aha, I have disabled myself. But, I've injured myself. Oh, fuck me. So, anyway, anglerfish. Nature's fleshlight. So obviously, you don't put your penis in that. There's flubs in its hinges. But I'm a bit of a sick son of a bitch, and the closer I can come to the sweet release of death, the more fun things are for me. And I've also spent 2 minutes on the internet, and I know what you fucking degenerates are like. So the collab with Bad Dragon is coming soon. And now to shift the tone even more, I once met a member of the bread mafia. He's toast now. If Jesus' body was bread, and his blood was wine, did Jesus have a yeast infection? I recently downloaded an app to teach me Hebrew. It's called Duolingo. I've actually converted to both Judaism and Islam. The halal and kosher combo, the pigs will never fucking touch me. So I'll explain religion really quick. Christianity sounds like, forgive them. Also, remember how I said you couldn't eat pork? I was fibbing. You could totally eat pork. Just not on a Friday. Judaism sounds like, it's nicer over there. Islam sounds like, yo, these motherfuckers tried to kill me. And the Vikings sound like, kill them all and hopefully die trying. And as much as I have the sweet call of the void, I don't think I could be a Viking. Like, it's not that I don't want to get into heaven and die. It's just the whole like being stabbed as a prerequisite. Like, I like my bits on the inside. Like, age 80, surrounded by whores. That's how I want to go. Yes, I'm polyamorous. Sorry, I have weapons in multiple rooms in my house. I'm polyamorous. Polyamory coming from the Greek poly and the Latin amore, many loves, and in today's language it means I'm a slut who can't afford Netflix. It enables me to say things like, of course, baby girl, you're my moon, my stars, I love you to forever and back, but I'm on a catamaran in Gran Canaria and some dude wants to suck my dick, so bye. Seriously, polyamory sounds great until you've got 2 women on the period at the same time. I'm now going to tell you a very carefully constructed joke that isn't going to offend anyone. Women. Women! 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 Women. Women? 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 Women! Immigrants. 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 difference. Catholics. 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 Trans people. Trans people. It's trans people. Trans people. Trans people. Trans people. Trans people. Trans people. Harry Potter. They're coming for all wrong. Trans Catholic immigrant. Yeah, that's supposed to be a joke about like, how you can like come together over a bunch of things, but how like, like trying to speak up against something that's like, where you know that you're gonna get shit on a lot. Don't worry, we'll circle back to this later. But yeah, anyway. Pedophiles. Pedophiles. Because yeah, like there's a load of things that you can like build bridges over and get over, but like if you walk in and someone's diddling your kid, and then the police turn up and they're like, "What happened here? He fell down the stairs 47 times. Do you want to make it an even 50?" Anyway, this is where it's weird, because like, as a comedian, you'll write 5 things you love and 5 things you hate, and the comedy will come. Unfortunately, talking about hate is a hate crime. So the most common word out of my mouth is "I hate myself. Take me away." And the other one is, well, you know how kind of like when you stub your toe, and you only stub your toe a little bit, and you're like, "You motherfucker." And then sometimes when you stub your toe, you've got a lot going on, and you're like, "You goddamn bastard." There was once a White House correspondent. It was Obama, don't worry, he was one of the good ones. And he came in, he was like, "Yeah, as some of you may have heard, my wife and daughter died in a car crash, but I've got work to do, so let's just move on." And then the reporter's like, "Are you okay?" It's like, "Oh yeah, there's nothing I would love more than to break down into a sobbing pit of tears, but sorry, that's not how the world works. Let's, we've got other things." And you know that man is like one stubbed toe away from just fucking shooting the coffee table like, "Hey, you motherfucker! Ah, Mary!" So that's kind of where I'm at with Tourette's. Sometimes it doesn't work like that, because like this one time I was in a Subway and some kids didn't like clean up the tray like table, and I was like, "Your mum's a hoe." And then later on in the evening I was moving a tent, and then you know when it's like 10 o'clock at night and you've got to kind of shut the fuck up, but you're drunk, so you're not really. And I was like, "Oh, we've got to be quiet. Is this quiet enough? No, this isn't quiet enough. No, that's not quiet enough. You're still not quiet enough. Your mum's a hoe." John Davidson. Anyway, I started dating a princess recently, but alas, it was not meant to be. She couldn't tell that I peed the bed. So I started dispatching wasps to go and round up promiscuous women for me because I ran out of hornets. I started dating a weed grower, but realistically I was just trying to get into her plants. When I got home I found out she'd stalked me. Ugh. Didn't even get a decent draw. This girl walks up to me one time and she says, "I want to fuck a tree." And I said, "Ho ho ho ho, I am liking that idea. Catch me when I'm in bed because I sleep like a log. It didn't work. But there's this guy who wants to get married, so he goes into the ring shop and he asks the woman if she's got like the stand thing that they used to measure rings on, and she's like, yes, there you go, there's the stand thing. And the guy's like, fantastic. He takes the stand thing, drops his pants and squats down onto it, and he's like, that feels like a D. They call me Tent because I love getting pegged down in nature. I don't want to call it pseudoscience, but it's called metaphysics, and it prescribes to any physical ailment that you are feeling is not actually a physical ailment, but a manifestation of your outward body. Like, me saying I've got a sore left knee isn't actually a representation that I've got a sore left knee. It's an indication that I've got poor financial planning, and if I don't get my shit together, Big Dave is going to come and take the right one too. PayPal in the bio. Please. No. I have been infusing my vodka with cannabis in order to keep my spirits high. I once turned a pub landlord into a sheep. He barred me. And then, as I sung my jaunty tune out of his poxy establishment, I fucked his wife, I fucked his sister, and I fucked his dad, because I am barred. Sun is rising on a new day, shining, fighting for another reason to survive. All the toil and all the strife, you face it with a grin. Your destiny is wrecked at sea, you're never gonna win. Then you feel it start from within. Wake up, hear the drums of liberation. Heartbeat to the rhythm of your freedom, you know. If you wanna chase your dreams, chart a course to what it takes. Never lose your motivation, beat the drums of liberation. Do it with a way-ho, way-ho. Obstacles are fun, way-ho, way-ho. Let your spirit run wild, way-oh, way-oh. Never gonna stop until you reach the sun. Wake up, hear the drums of liberation. Heartbeat to the rhythm of your freedom, you know. If you wanna chase your dreams, chart a course, do what it takes. Never lose your motivation, beat the drums of liberation. 'Cause after all is said and done, you'll end up a skeleton. So spread your sails from dawn to dusk upon these foamy seas. Sail with your friends till the bitter end. Tell their story while they're gone. But just like bottles, the drumbeat can only last so long. So close your eyes and dream of skies when dawn reaches the horizon. Wake up, hear the drums of liberation. Heartbeats to the rhythm of your freedom, you know. If you wanna chase your dreams, chart a course, do what it takes. Never lose your motivation, beat the drums of liberation. So for those of you who don't know, that was a it was a One Piece song, because if you don't, this one's One Piece. It's anime all about piratey adventures, because I don't like Western TV as much because it's so boring and grounded in reality. Give me a man using a dragon as a jump rope. And it I've made a full album from the perspective of like this one character because I wanted to get on the Netflix, but they've already they've cast the flesh version of him, but they've not cast the skeleton version of him. And oh no, I think I've got to do that one. Yeah, I've got to do that one. Because this one song's called "Plowing the Bonnie Blue Ocean." It alludes to the set. Like I am very uncomfortable living up to the horny bard persona, But this character, for those of you who don't know, has got a particular character quirk, and yeah. Excuse me, miss, don't mean to intrude. I know this might sound a little rude, but the words they spill before I think, like a ship that sails before it sinks. Excuse me, miss, I'm lost in your view, caught in the skies where your colors bloom. Not to sound lewd, but here's my plea. Can I see the soul you hide from me? I want to bring a dude up on stage and just dead ass look at him in the eyes the entire time, because god fucking damn it, this is awkward. Your laugh's a song I play on repeat. Your gaze could turn the coldest heat, but I trip on words like stones and sand. But here I am with my heart in hand. Can I see your panties? Oh, let me see them, please. Oh, can I see your panties? Sweetest Mon Chéri. It's not about the lace or the seams. It's about the you that fills my dreams. Excuse me, miss, may I see your panties? Got Kid Crack Rock up on stage right now. Shaggy from Scooby-Doo has grown his hair out. Where's the dog? I ate him. I look less like Jesus Christ and more like Jesus Christ. I am so ugly, I am turning every clitoris in this room into a clitorisant. And every erection into a bold fist of rage, because the hair makes me look like a bitch, but the beard is confusing. A little bit about myself. I'm from Cumbria. No, sorry. I'm from Cumberland. And yeah, I'm going to spit a little bit of Cumbrian history at you. So once upon a time there was a big, big iceberg. And then it melted. Some people walked up from France. Some people sailed from who knows where. But everyone gathered and started bickering about who has the most land and stuff. Then one day, Rome comes along and says, Salve, we've been having a crack with Greece and Egypt, and you know those old gods that you believe in? Well, they are remarkably similar to our gods, and either way, welcome to the army. And then, oh, by the way, we're going to build a wall to keep out those smelly blue bastards, and another wall to keep out the smellier, bluer bastards. And you know those old gods that we believed in? Well, a couple hundred years ago, we killed this guy called Jesus, and apparently he's the dog, or else. And we've left the iron on at home, and we're leaving you. Goodbye. So then we've got Reghead, Mercia, Northumbria, Strathclyde, Ireland, both of them, Alba, and the South. Fucking France or whatever, all in the inevitable power vacuum that ensued, and who emerges victorious but Welsh King Arthur and his famous tales of going to the underworld and the salmon of all knowledge. Come on, guys, we all know the story of Bran the Blessed, am I right? He was a giant. Too giant for his house. To build a bigger house. Fucking hated the Irish. So anyway, one of King Arthur's boys wanted to marry Bran the Blessed's daughter, and Bran the Blessed was like, "Oh, don't be marrying my bloody daughter, I'll fucking die." So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go over there, you're gonna kill that big boar and take razor blades out of his face. And once you've taken those razor blades, you're gonna forge a sword, and you're gonna cut my head off, bury me in London, and I'm gonna shout at the French. But anyway, while that's happening, it's the bloody Vikings. Oh no, it's the Northumbrians invading us, and then it's the bloody Vikings invading us, convincing us to take up arms against the South. But it's okay, we beat off the Viking menace. Hooray! And then they came back, and they won, and everybody is a Canute now. Fantastic. Oh no, he's died. There's a power vacuum. The English have driven out the Viking menace, and we are once again Christian. Oh, the French Vikings have invaded Hastings, and now they've won, and now, hello, William the Conqueror. Yes, we are familiar with Jesus. Oh, hello, William the Conqueror's grandson. What's that? The Jews like money, and they killed Jesus. There's a man over there called Muhammad, and he's not Jesus either. Well, bloody Holocaust and Crusade for several generations. And Robin Hood isn't happy, Robert the Bruce isn't happy, Yorkshire and Lancashire aren't happy, and then finally England is united. What's that? You want a divorce? Jesus too? Well, okay. And 4 generations later, England is finally united. All this while, Scotland and Ireland have been fucking us off because, like, Cumbria is English and but yeah, England is finally united and ready to set sail into the new world to discover the Skraelings that the Vikings were talking about and not do any mischief. Oh, what's that? Oliver Cromwell has formed a coup d'etat, and now we're back to Jesus Classic. Well, cancel Christmas and burn the witches. Alexander Hamilton. And then America, Scotland, France, and the Dutch all invade my hometown. And then black people happened. And then black people happened. I once saw, like, people were griping at a Battle of Hastings documentary for having a black person. Yes, there was an entire regiment of French Jews. Like, I think it was the year fucking 300. Some dude had made 4 pilgrimages to and from Jerusalem. I'm very impressed that I said the word pilgrimages, because usually I stutter. It's like with the Romeo and Juliet. People were griping at a black Juliet, and fucking right, like, I've seen Macbeth staged as a kitchen drama, right? If you're mad at Black Juliet, right, this one's gonna fucking blow your mind. Back in the day, when he wrote it, it wasn't Romeo and Juliet. It was Romeo and Steve. Because women couldn't act. And they can't act now. No. That was an impulse joke. I'll be with you in 1 second. Yeah, so I kind of got that joke. When I said that women can't act, I meant, not that they can't act in films, but they can't act in life. And that is a joke because obviously, like, there's the concept of anima and animus. Like, I'm fine up here, but as soon as I leave here, I've got a phone. No, I don't. I have. Well, yeah. My girlfriend, always with the yap, yap, yappity, yap, yappity, yap, yap, yap. So I stabbed her 54 times. I had peace and quiet for a week, but then that bitch ghosted me. Carving a little boy out of wood. Oh, that sounds like something a Geppetto would do. I am quite annoyed because I've got like a list, like there's 10 minutes of one-liners on there. I can't remember them all. That's why I had to go and take a break to like compose myself. So yeah, like there's a line between self-sabotage and like all that good shit, because like I know what's funny to me, and then sometimes like me being a fucking weirdo is funny to me because I accept it. If that makes you uncomfortable, that's your problem. Because it's really weird. Like, I learned how to shoot, take the bullet out of someone before I kissed a girl, and then learned bedside manners. I'm less bipolar and more browsing polar. There's a lot of polars I can apply to a situation, and I haven't figured out what kind of face I want to wear yet. Yeah, but I've developed a theory. It's called the circle of cuntery. It doesn't... No, wait. I've been looking up fallacies on the internet. Ooh, there are a lot of fallacies on the internet. All shapes and sizes. Veiny. For those of you who don't know what a fallacy is, it is an ocean of dicks. Which is a pretty apt metaphor for what it's like having a conversation with some people, because there's just like things that make the conversation unnecessarily hard. Like the fox and the grapes. Like, these grapes are too far from my reach. Therefore, these grapes taste like wank. Give me the grapes! The slippery slope fallacy, which sounds like, no, we're not getting a dog because there'll be a slippery slope before there's piss on the carpet. And I'm like, Dad, you drank 36 beers last night and pissed on the carpet anyway, you fucking legend. Where's me dog? Teque quo, which sounds like the USA had Nazi scientists to get to the moon. Therefore, the USA was instrumental in the Holocaust. And classic strawman fallacy. You can override anything I have to say by calling me a retard, or a spastic, or a mong, or a faggot. Or a hippie. A stoner. Weirdo. There's so many reasons why you could just be like, ugh. I once got kink-shamed by a whore, and I will not elaborate on that. So yeah, I've developed a theory called the circle of cuntery. It doesn't matter how far on the left or the right you go, eventually you become the same kind of cunt. Donald Trump is a threat to free speech. We must cancel him from talking immediately. And shoot his representative. J.K. Rowling is a TERF. No, I'm not going to date you, you're bisexual. That's gay. Oh, we Jews are the most discriminated against people in the world. What's that? You have a Kanashi. Get the fuck away from me, you animal. So I'm gonna do this joke and then that joke, because that joke historically comes before this joke. But yeah, so I've got a fear of being perceived as a bit of a racist, so why not embody the cisgendered white patriarchal colonizing oppressor in the form of Archibald Fitzcockin? Allow me to disassociate. Hello, everyone. So, I was out in Tanganyika, and for those of you who don't know where Tanganyika is, it's Zanzibar's there. Tanganyika is there. It's in Africa. It's more commonly referred to as Tanzania nowadays, but I refuse to acknowledge those colonialistic fucks. What? Yes, I was over there teaching the government how to be corrupt. You know, proper white people crimes. Like, you can't have a political opponent. And if there is no one to run against you, you're going to win. Yes, it's not embezzlement. You own all of the money. You can do whatever you want with it. I made a frightful discovery while I was out there. You know, in Africa they have fast food. Yes, those chickens are quick. At least until you tie their legs together, and don't go very far. If you get a lucky shot and pop off both their heads at the same time, it dances around like a spirograph. I also learnt that The Lion King was very lazily written. It's just Shakespeare's Hamlet. And the name, beat for beat, right down to the gazelle murder. And the namings, Simba, lion. Timon, meerkat. Pumbaa, your mother. Classic. Yes, when we were driving through the villages, I say villages, there's 3 or 4 mud huts on the side of the road, you know. All the children would run out and they would go, Mzungu, Mzungu, Mzungu. And then there was one person who had his arms crossed. It was like, Mzungu. Everyone else was like, Mzungu, Mzungu. Mzungu. I didn't know what it meant. So when we got to the compound, I said, Jambo, Gina Langunani. Gina Languni, Kobida Balugo. Kobida Balogo. Kobida. So your name's John. Tell me, John, this word Mzungu, I keep hearing it screamed at me. What does it mean? Mzungu. White people. Oh, that is fantastic, John. We've got a word for you as well. Friend. Rafiki. John Davidson. Anyway, so there's a cisgendered white man who has been beaten up and is badly struggling. When he comes context. Sweet Baby Ink. So I take a medieval approach to jesterdom, like kings and tyrants. So King Charles. So on the whole, feeling weird about personas, because if Socrates Mason were to say fuck the king, then it's entirely arrogance. Fuck you and your hat, you wanker. If Jack were to say fuck the king, it would either be apathetic frustration, open rebellion, haven't had my breakfast yet. There's a lot of reasons why I'm swearing at someone, mostly because I'm a cunt. But if Jack were to say fuck the king, then... Oh, Charles, your liver-spotted head and gnarled fingers really give me the chub. King Charles's nose is so big that he can smell whenever he gets an erection. I wouldn't like to share a bag of cocaine with the man, though. He'd fucking sneef up the whole thing in one, like, oh, no, dear boy, it's called Charlie. It's all mine. King Charles? Ugh. That fella's missing a prefix. The prefix is the. A prefix is what goes before the start of a word to change it into a different word. fucking Charles. So yeah, anyway, Sweet Baby Inc. is a games consultancy company that wants to promote diversity and inclusivity by eradicating the white man from game spaces. Ugh. And purging the detractors. Ugh. And yeah, I've got a death wish. So like, I am cool with feminism and equality, the LGBTQs and stuff. Like my coming out was less of a I'm bisexual and more like, has anyone got a fucking problem with that? But yeah, when the sign says kill all men, like, I don't want to say that's some shit, but that's the kind of shit that, like, it's just bad juju, man. So anyway, there's a cisgendered white man who has been beaten up and is badly struggling when he comes across three members of when he sees an LGBTQ pride parade, and he's like, oh fantastic, love and toleration. And he walks up to three members of Sweet Baby Inc. He says, oh hello pronouns, I have been beaten up and am badly struggling. Could you help me? And the three turn and look at him and say, what fucking problems have you got, white boy? Yeah, check your privilege, you cisgendered white patriarchal colonizing oppressor. You're part of the problem. Yeah, fuck off and die, N-word. And the guy's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Those first two things were a little bit confrontational, but that thing was two separate crimes. What the fuck? And they turn to him and say, you're not welcome in the neighborhood. Ree, ree, ree. And this attracts the attention of the local policeman. And the guy's like, fuck this, I'm going home. And he goes home and tells his wife that he's lost 2 fights in 1 day, and she immediately loses all respect for him. Walks into work the next day, and the boss says, there's a video been going around the social media. You've had an altercation with the allies, and can't have that representation in the company, can we? Goes home and tells his wife, who kicks him out for being a deadbeat piece of shit. So there he is, a shaking and a shivering on the streets, when a raggedy Albanian man crosses his path. He reaches into his cloak, and the man jumps up. He's like, oh, I was feeling terrible before. Oh, I'm full of vigor. What did you just give me, mister? And the Albanian looks at him and says, it was crack. The Good Samaritan 2024, 2025, 2026. I actually got cancelled for that joke once before. It's why I made the bard joke from earlier. But imagine that song sung defiantly. Oh, yeah, because like after I got kicked, like, at first they said, we've had an update in policy and we can't accommodate you, and I was like, fine. And then a year later it was a music festival, and I rocked up to the place and I was like, hey, like, it's a music festival, like, come on, what's going on here? Can we work a little something out? And then they were like, actually, the committee found you unsuitable, but you can still rent the hall. And I was like, oh, well, I feel like I've been lied to. Yeah, that's fine. You're trying your best. I've not interacted with you. Anyway, you sir, you look like a gentleman who likes foreign language music. Would you like to buy one of my CDs? Oh, what's that? I'm kicked out of your establishment. Well, huzzah and gammonry, you are making a mistake. And then I went to go and sing Bohemian Rhapsody in another pub, a cappella style, and that was great, and I enjoyed myself, but I was like, this is some fucking bullshit. And like, you know when you're all flooded with adrenaline and cortisol and things seem like a good idea at the time? Yeah. I totally see why that guy phoned the police on me the next time. I was like, hey, there was a bit of a kerfuffle. But fucking wet wipe. Like, unsuitable, my arse. And I've got 9 minutes and 40 seconds left. So here's my impression of a Canadian. I was out there in Moose Knuckle the other day on a date, but I couldn't find her clit. But I was out fishing and that dumb broad didn't know the difference between a walleye, a perch and a pike, so I had to throw her out the boat and I went home and I played some hand hockey, So I was out there in Quebec the other day, in Quebec, and I bumped into this other Canadian fella, but he wasn't a proper Canadian like me. I bumped into him and he said, "Hey Canadian, vex to de Donnybrook?" And I said, "No thanks, bud, I'm not looking for a scuffle today, I'm not celebrating nothing." And then this other Canadian fella comes up, but he wasn't a proper Canadian like me or a proper Canadian like that other fella. He comes over and he says, "I'm Miss Kawaii, Timmy Toei." And then me and that first Canadian fella made fun of the second Canadian because of where he was from. Me and that second Canadian fella made fun of that first Canadian fella because of where he was from. But when those two hosers made fun of me because of where I was from, I didn't like that and I started swinging. But then I was in the wrong and I said sorry. The other guy said désolé and the other guy said nagli give a get. Then we all went home and drank our 2 units of alcohol. Fuck it. Oh yeah, what is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's favourite thing to look at in the night sky? Asteroids. I've actually got a plan to beat Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in a fight. I'm going to restart this because I'm going to edit it. But lastly, my TikTok is blowing up. Even my LinkedIn. I've been talking to Reese Witherspoon on LinkedIn, and on TikTok I've got Jennifer Aniston following me, and Sandra Bullock, and Jennifer Aniston has got 2 TikTok accounts for some reason. The wrestler Danhausen. Yes, I paid him money and now he's my best friend. Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Joe. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Joe. You said you'd appear, Joe. Why did you lie? Joe. Why would you lie? You said Joe. I don't know how far I'm going to milk that bit, but basically I'm going to try and use the meme to summon Joe Hendry to my Edinburgh Fringe run. So, what is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's favourite thing to look at in the night sky? Asteroids. I've actually got a plan to beat him in a fight. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Dress up like a giant sheet of paper. And then, as I'm putting the cover on, 1, 2, it's little Kevin Hart comes running out dressed as a pair of scissors, cuts me the fuck up, because I figured the only thing more embarrassing than losing to me in a fight is having Kevin Hart come and save you. But Jack, you daring rogue, what is your problem with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? He's a big cunt. And I think if I punched him in the face, he wouldn't move that much. This is good. I could punch him again. And again. And again. And that would be a very fun time. Like, and I know that sounds kind of psychopathic, but you only understand it if you do martial arts, really. Like, because I've got all this going on in my head, and like when it's just focus and like freedom. But for the intents and purposes of this joke, it's called the hero's journey. So the hero must go through a necessary amount of suffering to get to where he is. He's like overcoming challenge and adversity, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has got it written into his contract that he can only be like this much beaten up, and like he was playing a UFC fighter in a movie, and as a person he can definitely play a UFC fighter, and like when you know he's not really going to lose that badly, like anyway, I should really think of something else to finish that joke. Yeah. So I do like reenactments as a hobby, because you know I've got all this wild energy in me, and there is nothing like the cathartic release of standing in the middle of a battlefield with my high visibility jacket on and my little clipboard, judging people's fashion choices. Like, oh, that is a lovely wimple, dear, but that embroidery, did you make that yourself? Yeah, unfortunately there's no evidence for it, so take it off. Now, there's a Venn diagram in between reenactments, tabletop games, and kinky rock and roll. That if you like reenactments and you like tabletop games, you will probably love that rock and roll. Boy howdy. And it's not that those three things are like the Venn diagram. You could replace that one of those with church. I like to call it freak shit, nerd shit, and rock and roll, because rock and roll is rock and roll in it. But it's not. It's what's in the middle of this Venn diagram that unites the whole thing. Autism, rampant neurodivergence throughout the communities. But no, it's things like freedom, faith, like new challenges, flow, fucking to have a world and to be able to do something in it. All that good therapy shit. And if all of that was winging it, I'm gonna make the last 3 minutes count. So, yeah, I've been doing the therapy recently, and there's a thing called EMF tapping that I would like to share with you. So imagine that your room is a mess. I don't know. Personally, my room isn't messy at all. I need to imagine it, but just a messy room is an example. And there's bottles and cans and fucking Scrabble everywhere. And I don't want to do it, and I can't be arsed, and fucking it's just gonna get messy again. And I'm filming a video, and so there's here, 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 and here, and also kind of got to give yourself a hug for this one, and I can't exactly show you where it is on the back, but just have a good old poke around. You do that 3 times and you do an affirmation. So like, yes, my room is messy, so bring me my bathing toaster. No, that's a bad affirmation. That's gallows humor, children. Yes, my room is messy, but tidying it up will mean I don't have to ninja step over everything, although ninja stepping over everything is fun. So yeah, last joke. What is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's favourite thing to look at in the night sky? Asteroids! I've actually got a plan to beat Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in a fight. Dress up like a giant sheet of paper. And then, as I've put the cover on him, 1, 2, it's little Kevin Hart comes running out dressed as a pair of scissors, cuts me the fuck up, and I figured the only thing more embarrassing than losing to me in a fight is having Kevin Hart come save you. And it's got to do with like the hero's journey in storytelling, because like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was playing a UFC fighter and it's cool. He can play UFC fighter, very capable of it. But when he can only get 60% beaten up, and yeah, obviously you don't want to get punched in your face as part of your day job, but like you can only get 60% beaten up as a UFC fighter. That means you're guaranteed to win. And obviously you're guaranteed to win, but you need to like have a couple of struggles in the mix, and you can't do that if you like handicapped. Like I've said the words headbutt me, it'll look cool in my death throes before. Yeah. But yeah, do I actually want to dress up like a giant sheet of paper and wrestle Dwayne The Rock Johnson? No. No. No, 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 no. He'd fold me. It would be fun though. Oh yeah, someone actually like came up to me and said they had to beat me up after I told that joke one time. Because like the whole kayfabeness of it, like he was a wrestler, and because I chatted shit on a wrestler, like the wrestlers had to and my response to him was fantastic. Bring all of your friends. Trial by fire. Yeah. And just as I finished editing, I remembered the two jokes. Yeah, I hate it when people slag off false positivity, because if I'm doing false positivity to a situation, that's because my first thought was crime. Like, imagine it's 9:58 and you're working in a kitchen and you just finished cleaning the grill, and then you get an order in for 4 well done mixed grills, and you want to take that steak and go outside and slap them in the face, but with the steak, and say no, you get something from the microwave. But you've just got to be like, come on guys, the power of positive thinking. And so with the power of positive thinking, I've come up with a solution for world peace. So what I'm going to do, do I need to contact, yeah, so they say video games cause violence, but what, I don't see how Pong had any influence in Nam, but I do very much understand what some of those gunners were feeling like, because like my mate Josh is flying the bird, I'm there on the grenade launcher, and I see 3 squishy mortals on a quad bike, and they explode. Now I've got to do something with that energy, and I could either be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, yes, or it could be like, I am the god of hellfire. But with that in mind, I've devised a plan for world peace. I'm going to take the head Muslim and the head Jew, and I'm going to get a gun, and I'm going to say, alright motherfuckers, we are going to play Fortnite. I've got some hummus and pita bread, olive oil, I know you like that. What kind of beverage do you want? For you see boys, there are 96 other people out there, and they are trying to take that chicken dinner from us. No, we will claim that dirty dub through blood and conquest. And then, yeah, peace. But obviously we've got to think about America in this situation, and where's Donald Trump in this little peace talk of imagination? Well, you know that movie Pulp Fiction? And how in that movie there's a shop, and in that shop is a basement, and in that basement is a chain, and attached to that chain is a man in a gimp outfit. See you in 2 years, America. Fucking